And they're off. Welcome back to my No Man's Sky Permadeath stream. When last we met, our intrepid explorer found himself on a toxic planet. No ship, no friends, and just trying to stay alive and find some way off this nasty place.
Radiation protection.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Anna. So, let's have a look and see what we've discovered at this particular location. We've discovered all the animals on this planet. I'm just going to go into the shelter here to avoid eroding my hazard protection.
Radiation protection. Stabilizing.
Like on short order. Looks like I've been into this shelter. Okay. So, as you can see, my hazard protection is regenerating inside of a shelter. My inventory has a few slots in it, thankfully. And let's see, I have some materials. I would need some probably additional materials to do a little better, but we'll address that when we get to it, I guess. Starship fuel. I don't even have a starship. Wow. You can actually eat this stuff. Consume leg meat. I must have had to kill an animal, I guess. Alrighty. So we're outside of a holographic transmission terminal. Basically, that's one of the many buildings on planets, and they do serve a purpose at some point in the game. You have to climb up there in order to activate the terminal.
Radiation protection.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Did I? Yeah, I guess I did this one too. So these particular terminals here allow you to learn a word in the local language. Now, okay, let's get our bearings. My ship is still that way, which is almost north, and I am headed... thought I was headed towards a crashed ship. Maybe not. Okay. Regardless, I am headed pretty much south. Let's go this way. It looks like I've encountered some kind of vendor or trade terminal or something like that, because I have quite a few ion batteries to recharge my exosuit. Okay, before I go on, I'm going to check my my log, but I'm also looking to get my chat. Can't see my chat. View docs. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. Put that out of the way over here. View. Good morning, Jake. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. Put that out of the way here. All right, let's get back to it. Shall we? View. Good morning, Jake. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. All right. South is kind of this way. All right. Let's get back to it. Shall we? I think I might have an echo. Hang on. Good morning, Jake. Here we go. Okay. Alrighty. All right. That should be better. That should be better. How much carbon do I have?
Radiation protection.
Stack of that. That's good. Radiation protection falling. So you can't change the voice of your exosuit. It's always this female-ish kind of thing. Higher pitch, you know, that kind of thing. It's not a bad thing, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm stuck here. Yeah. So, as I was saying when last we met, our valiant wanderer here decided not to use or fix his the starship he was issued and make his way in the opposite direction, hoping to find a different crashed ship. Now, why would he do that, you ask? I guess that is the challenge set forth by the No Man's Sky YouTuber Academy. I'll call them that for now. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that try a number of different scenarios that are out of the box kind of thing. They're not. They're not exactly to storyline. The thing is in order to progress past certain milestones, if you will, you have to do you have to do the storyline to some extent. So, but you don't have to do the initial starter ship. It's kind of cool. So this is one of those challenge type things. See if you can survive on a planet with a hostile environment. Find the necessary resources in order to survive, and eventually find a starship to get off the planet and basically continue the gameplay more or less as it was meant to be. So a shout out to two YouTube channels in particular that go about this kind of business. There's Jason Plays and there's Survival Bob. These two guys have been, as far as I know or I can tell, have been doing this for a number of years, so they will be much more familiar with the goings on. So I have both my life support and my hazard protection in my general tab. Now, what a lot of people do is they slide it over to this technology tab to basically give you more space in your general inventory for other consumables or other resources that you can acquire and sell at some point.
Radiation protection falling.
So in permadeath mode, basically everything kills you. you fall from too far, you die. I don't recall if I had ran into a trading post. I'm pretty sure it was this playthrough. I ran into a trading post almost immediately out of the gate. I decided at that point, or at least I decided not to buy a ship there and try my luck at finding one, a crashed one.
Radiation damage detected.
So far, not much luck with that. I've encountered several buildings. I've scanned all the animals, some of the rocks and plants,
Radiation protection falling.
and just kind of making my way south. Let's see. Oh, I see something I like there. Look at that. I don't know if I had mentioned this in the last playthrough, but these are buried technology modules. This particular one is not buried, so yay, free salvage data. And that's great because I don't have the tool to dig out the buried stuff, whether it be technology modules or otherwise minerals, things like that. You need a terrain manipulator to do that. Now, if I'm lucky, maybe I'll come across a minor settlement with a multi-tool that has a terrain manipulator built in. Otherwise, I'm kind of SOL on that front. So before I go any further, I'm just going to do a scan to see... Oh my, okay. To see what interesting waypoints I can locate. And I see something down over the hill there that's... it's interesting to me. Anyway, it's a... where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So an unknown grave is basically a grave that belongs to one of my fellow travelers. One of the game features, I guess you might call it. Now the travelers are pretty much, can I say extinct? Probably, because any travelers you come across are kind of a ghost or a shadow of their former selves, and you run across these mainly in space stations. But well, I have to get off this planet before I can get to a space station. I have to find a ship. All right. Having said that, when you run across a traveler in a space station, and they're not in all space stations, you can have a discussion with them, and they will ask you for stuff or give you stuff or whatever. But the secret is to engage them a second time, and when you do that, they give you the location of this particular thing, this unknown grave, and in a few moments I'll explain to you significance of accessing the unknown grave. So as you can see, my hazard protection and life support on this planet are dwindle extremely quickly. So now I'm going to access this grave, and here is the traveler, Artaba's regeneration. So it's a regeneration. I guess it's like a holograph. Sentinels. What are the I guess he's the Sentinels probably put an end to him. Made it my life's work to find left logs, records across worlds. Pardon me. The fallen traveler's grave is marked with a glyph, an epitaph of some ancient technology. So I'm going to extract the glyph. I obtain the glyph, and with it the ability to travel to unknown worlds. I leave the fallen traveler in peace. Alright, so I'm just going to go kind of hide out in this cave for a few moments and get out of the elements so I can explain what just happened there. Am I out of the elements? Yeah. Okay, my hazard protection is regenerating. Let's get the life support back online here. And all right. So basically, the glyph that I just extracted is one of 16, and those. This must be a reference to Stargate, the show and the movie Stargate. Basically, what it is a glyph that allows you to activate portals, and so basically. That's in the catalog, right? Okay, yeah. So basically, portals allow you to travel to other places in the galaxy or in the universe, and the way you do that is you need to basically find the glyphs of the destination you want to go to, and have all the glyphs in your inventory. So if you look at the bottom left of my screen there's a number of icons, and those are the glyphs for the location I'm in right now. I don't have multiplayer or networking engaged at this point, so even if you came to this location somehow, you wouldn't necessarily see me. You'd have to be in the same permadeath mode in any case. So yeah, so that's the story of the glyphs and the portals. In order to be able to find a portal, you basically need to locate a
Radiation protection falling.
you need to locate what are those things called? They had them in Space Odyssey 2001. Monolith. So you need to locate a monolith, engage the conversation with that device, and if you have the appropriate artifacts in your inventory, it will give you the location of a portal, which you can then use to travel to various other locations, I guess. Now, here's another thing I'm looking for. You just saw some starships going over the rise there. If I see like a bunch of starships going around in circles,
Radiation protection falling.
that's usually a good indication there's some kind of feature, whether a building, whether it's a trade post or a planetary archive. Actually, I'm not sure they circled the planetary archives. Pretty sure they circled the trade post, though. So I'm looking out for that. I'm not too concerned about seeing starships fly overhead. They do that constantly. And they generally go in one direction, but they, like when you're standing on the planet and you're looking at starships, they're usually going in one direction, but they often change directions as they go, so you can't really rely on following them kind of thing, because yeah, I think I'm going to take advantage of this resource here. Yeah, so you can't exactly always take advantage of following starships, because quite often what happens is they change directions. Now I hear more. Yeah, there they go. Okay, so it's pretty busy. I mean, between keeping your hazard protection and your life support in check, and trying to gather materials and stay alive and keep going in the same direction. It is a challenge. I would recommend this to any gamer who thinks he's a gamer. I'm not a gamer, but just doing this for fun, but here we go, eh? Let's see, what do we got here? Carbon, more carbon, and a microprocessor. Alright. Well, microprocessors are useful for fixing things later on, obviously. So I'm going to hold on to those. How many do I have now? 1. I get the impression this game is not very old. Oh, big hole in the ground. What's going on down here? That's exactly that. It's just a hole in the ground. Not a cave. So, no point in spending any time rooting around down there.
Radiation protection falling. Lysible power low.
So I'm going to start using my jetpack a little bit more. It's useful for traveling just a little bit quicker anyway. So I guess I should use it to try to get it by a little quicker. There's a kind of a trick to that. If you use the right bumper, which is the accept knowledge. Okay, so these things give you words in the language, and obviously we're on a Korvax planet, so we learned a word for entity. Yeah, so like I was saying, the trick to the jetpack, or some people, the trick that some people use with the jetpack, is they do a melee jump kind of thing. They kind of do a melee jump, so they hit the right bumper.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
They hit the right bumper a fraction of a second before they hit the jump. The jetpack engage button, and it allows them to fly a little farther. Again, I'm not very well versed in the use of my jetpack. However, I do try to use it at times, especially if there's like a sentinel following me and stuff like that. You know, you want to try to get away as best you can, right? So here we go. Now, best case scenario, I think, is to use it when you're running. When your stamina has gone down, I've noticed that even if you use the melee jump kind of functionality, you don't have a tendency to go very far. So I'm going to wait till my little white man here gets near the bottom, and then I'm going to try to execute a melee jump like that. I don't know if that worked too well or not. Anyway, there's a lot of hills on this planet. It's almost annoying, but it is what it is. I guess you never really know what kind of planet you're going to spawn on, so we'll take what we got and run with it. These funny looking flying octopus. Now, how are they flying? Good question. I suspect they probably have some kind of gravity mitigating bladder somewhere in their kind of general system that allows them to stay afloat. So it's not, it doesn't look like an aerodynamic kind of flight, if you will. Looks more like a floaty kind of air balloon type of thing. That's basically what air balloons do, right? They, you know, hot air balloons and stuff, they basically mitigate the gravity, right? To a certain extent, as long as the air stays hot, right? Alright, so we have more damaged machinery here. I'm going to take a look and see what I can find in there. So right behind me, where'd it go?
Radiation damage detected.
Alright, so let's fix that first. 20 batteries left. Alright, that'll do for a while. Yeah, right behind me. What was I looking at? This thing. So this is what I was talking about, buried technology module. Most of them buried. You'll find the odd one on the side of a hill that's exposed. And basically the good thing about finding exposed technology modules is that salvage data. So I've obviously found a few. Salvage data is worth a lot. See, 52,000 units each. That's a small fortune. If I could find more of these, that'd be great. That would I could put that towards the purchase of a ship if I decide to do that. So there you go. There's the cat's out of the bag. I'm not stuck on the idea of finding a crashed ship, because the likelihood of that is not very high. So, as I was saying in the first episode, this is all everything in this game is based on probabilities and percentages and things like that. So, the chances of a crashed ship spawning on a planet, there's X number of percentage. Having said that, the chances of me going in one direction and coming across one is obviously even lower than that. So there's a chance I can come across one. I don't know. We'll see. Basically, what I thought I might do is continue on this trek for probably about an hour or so. If I come across a trade post or a depot or an archive, I will consider buying a ship to progress the storyline. So I guess I can explore what else the game has in store. This running across the planet's surface thing is going to get long in the tooth with me shortly. So I can just imagine, if you're watching the stream or the video afterwards, it's probably kind of boring. Let's see. Those ships are headed southeast. Running across the planet, regenerating my hazard protection and my life support. I don't even have any animals left to scan. So yeah, I believe if I come across a trade post or an archive, I'm probably gonna buy a ship, just so we can progress the storyline a little bit and explore the additional, if you will, the additional features of the game. We haven't really seen much at all in terms of what's involved in this game. Yes, there are a number of different kinds of planets. There's a wiki page online on the internet that explains all the various features, or pretty much all the various features of the game. It's on No Man's Sky fandom, I believe, and basically it goes through all the different things that are in the game. And if you decide to have a look at that, you'll see that it's quite complicated. It can be quite complicated, let's just say that. Now, these blue plants will give you a boost to your jetpack.
Radiation protection.
Now why? I didn't get much of a boost, I guess. Yeah, that's another thing I don't have a tendency to use. Those blue plants. I'm not really
Radiation protection.
well versed in their use, so like if somebody you know, if you work in IT and a mechanic comes up to you and gives you a wrench, what am I going to do with that, right? Exactly. That's
Radiation protection.
the same kind of idea. Yeah, it's a tool that's available, but you know what? I don't really know how to use it, so I'm going to just bypass that functionality altogether. You don't have to, right? So,
Radiation protection. Falling.
yeah. Morning, Scott. How you doing? Everything under control? Out east? So I try not to, when I do use my jetpack, I try not to fly too high. Because, again, I'm in permadeath mode, so this thing is over if I crash from too high a distance. And what happens if you don't fly high enough, well, you catch yourself on all these obstacles on the ground, and you end up going sideways. See, I don't even... Okay, so that's... that's south over this way. Is where I should be going. Don't they look scary, eh? Wow. Giant praying mantis. And it's baby. Maybe.
Radiation protection. Falling.
So the little blue circle with the black black fill and a white question mark, that's probably a sentinel behind me that's investigating. So when you cause a disturbance like using your jetpack, they will sometimes pop up out of the ground and just to see what's going on. If you happen to have the misfortune of being on a planet where the sentinels are very active, you need to be mindful of not attracting their attention, because they're definitely a negative influence on your health. Or they can be, I should say, not necessarily, obviously. Alright, let's take one more scan around here. Plants, berry technology module. That one sticking out of the ground? Can't see it yet. I'm gonna kind of edge my way over that way. Oh, 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 oh. No, I'm not. I'm going this way. There's a building over here, so let's go this way.
Radiation damage detected.
Yes, I know, dear. Radiation damage.
Recharge.
So that's why I'm stopping occasionally and doing a sort of like a 180 scan. I'm not scanning stuff that's behind me. I'm not interested in going backwards. Basically, I'm going to try to make my way in one general direction, which is south. Now, obviously, here I'm going west, and that's only because I want to see what this building is. It has potential to be useful. Huh? There's more berry technology up here. Wow, this hill is so steep, I can't even climb it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, recharge your life support. Thank you. I would probably die if it wasn't for my exosuit talking to me.
Radiation protection.
So Scott, yeah, stuff's okay here. I mean, we're all just trying to cope with all this mess, right? I guess in this area, a lot of people are kind of anxious about what's going to happen with the this protest that's going on. Premier Doug Ford of Ontario and the Prime Minister are all kind of chomping at the bit to get these people off the street and stuff like that. I mean, you hear some of the reports of some of the people who live downtown, and it's not a pretty sight. I mean, you know, there's people that lost their jobs because they can't sleep and aren't going to work, and so on and so forth. Anyway, here's a Corvax entity. Basically, these guys are kind of android robots kind of thing. So I know a few words. I know traveler. I know is. And the rest is mumbo jumbo. Corvax serenely navigates the terrain here. The synthetic materials of their casing apparently unaffected by the high radiation levels. Sweet. After performing a swift analysis of my equipment, they freely recharge my hazard protection. Jeez, didn't I just do that seconds ago? Well, thanks anyway, bud. Anyway, I'll see what other gifts might be available here. And it's nanites, right? Yep. Okay. So I will... Did I just do this? I think I did. Or maybe not. Yeah, I must have, because the animation didn't fully engage. There's a better animation, I think, when you first engage these things. All right, so I have a save point. Not that it matters in Permadeath, because if you die, you're gone. End of story. Start over. So just a quick heads up, if that happens, if that happens and I start over, I'll probably try permadeath again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my starter ship just to progress the story, because there is a storyline here. It's kind of open world, as you can see. I mean, you know, you don't have to basically, but there is a storyline. So again, if I do pass away, I will go that route instead of trying this. I've tried this a couple of times, and I've never found another crashed ship. I always end up having to buy one, but it's like, you know, 3, 4, 5 hours into the game, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, I don't really want to walk around a planet for that long, especially in a stream. Wow. Okay. So, do I have... No, I don't. Do I have more than one? Okay, so carbon, I have more than one stack. I'm going to put that over here to free up some space on my general inventory. Yep, that's good for now. Now it looks like I also can make additional life support, an additional life support module. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, you can do that. Because all I need for this is oxygen, and it's probably gonna slightly increase my life support. So as you can see, there's a blue border around these two blocks now, and basically that means that it's a proximity bonus or something like that. You put like things next to each other, and you get a slight added bonus to the effect. So that's good, right? Take everything we can get in this mode. So is it here? Yeah, critical exposure in 1 minute. So basically, what I was looking at here is the bottom left, just under the protection, 6.9 rad, and it says critical exposure. So basically, everything you add to your hazard protection and life support will increase the amount of time needed for you to have critical exposure.
Radiation protection falling.
Oh, of course, no stamina guy. That's me in real life too, by the way. Especially at my age. There's sometimes a mission that can trigger to find a lost ship. Yeah, possibly. I mean, I know in the when you get to the anomaly, there's missions there. There's also missions at space stations, but in the anomaly they often have missions that whereby you basically
Energy recharge.
find lost travelers or lost people, whatever. I think they're usually travelers. As a matter of fact, there's a weekend mission every weekend. Apparently, they've started to repeat those themes. And from what I saw this morning on Jason's channel, it's Destroy Hazardous Fauna weekend. So for those who are interested in doing the weekend mission, you'll be sent to a planet that contains hazardous fauna that you have to kind of eliminate a certain number of those to complete the mission. There's prizes or whatever when you complete the mission. Now, this is something I'd like to do today, but I have a funny feeling I won't get around to it in this stream. What I'll probably do is stream one of my other playthroughs this afternoon sometime and do the weekend mission. Those are kind of fun. I mean, you can do them with friends too. It's I've never done that, but by all means, if any of you are, I'm talking to you, Scott, because I know you have you have a couple of playthroughs already. So if you're interested in trying out the weekend mission together, let me know, and perhaps we can set something up later this afternoon or this evening. What is this? Grobbery, gra.
Radiation protection falling.
Oh, stop it. So, the last so-called building that I visited, well, let's just fix that before we stand around.
Technology recharge.
I could have swore I had like 20 of those when I started, down to 13 already. Wow. Gonna have to find a cave and, actually I got a few pieces of cobalt, so perhaps enough to make another several batteries. Yeah. So like I was saying, the last building, so-called building I visited, was not really a building. That's one of the things that kind of irks me in this game is, you know, you don't really find out till you're at it. And that goes from, not just when you're walking around on the ground, but from your starship as well. You don't always see what your scanner picks up till you're right on top of it. So, there's one thing that's on my wish list for Hello Games, and it's a tall order probably, but I wish the scanners, the personal scanner and your ship scanner, could be tuned to pick up you know, specific things. Like, for example, I'm looking for a trade post or an archive at this point, or a crashed ship, and so my scanner, this thing that I just engaged, just shows you some of the basic things that you can pick up, like dihydrogen, sodium, I think it's carbon as well, but yeah, so if you could tune that at some point, whether it be through a piece of technology that you engage on your multi-tool or in your ship, if you could tune the scanner to pick up, you know, toxic protection. Am I on a toxic planet? I am, aren't I? You know what? Yeah, let's do that right now. Move this. Right now. Get this out of the way.
Radiation protection.
Move this down here. And press X to install. Oh, I'm not on toxic, I'm radiation. Oh, that's not going to do me any good. I'm on a radiated planet. Damn it. Well, I guess when I visit, or if I can manage to get off this planet and visit a toxic planet,
Radiation protection.
that little bit of protection will help. Unfortunately, it's going to do me no good on this planet. So that's one of the reasons I activate those damaged machinery, is to in the hopes of acquiring useful technology like that. Now, those are very random as well. The drops that you'll get through damaged machinery, very random. So you're likely to get scanner weapon or a starship upgrade or something like that. At this point, those are not so useful to me. I mean, they may end up being useful, and I have a tendency not to throw away the best class upgrades unless it's something that I know I'm not going to use. And there are various technologies that I will not use. For example, on a starship, pretty much the only thing I use is the photon cannon. It's more than good enough for defending, and the other, well, basically the other weapons, they just kind of introduce sort of a level of confusion, you know. Oh, what do I choose? What do I choose in this case? And what do I choose in that case? And, well, you know what? If I just have one, yeah, there's no choice. I use that to defend myself and to break into secured locations on planets. So that's a bit of a spoiler for anybody who hasn't played this game. Just mute your output at this point, because I'm going to just say something that's a bit of a spoiler. There are secured locations on planets that can contain useful artifacts, upgrades, things like that, recipes or blueprints, and you have to break your way in, basically, and they are guarded by sentinels. So what I've discovered through my exploring YouTube tutorials, basically, is that you can access those basically by coming by with your starship and breaking your way in with the weapon on your starship. You can break open the doors. Wait till these sentinels are finished finish looking around, and then land, and go inside and see what's in the secured location.
Suit power cells depleted.
I have a funny feeling that my jetpack uses
Technology.
energy from my exosuit life support system. That's another reason I hesitate to use it. So we'll continue going south here for a while. See if we can't run into
Radiation protection.
some kind of planetary building that has a number of landing pads on it, like a trading post or an archive. And yeah, at this point, I'm pretty much hopeful that that's going to be the case, because I'm not very hopeful that I'll find a crash ship. You really never know, but that's the way it is, I guess.
Radiation protection. Falling.
Rusted metal. So it can be refined into ferrite dust, which can then be further refined for use in various construction, crafting, whatever. At this point, because I'm in
Radiation protection.
permadeath mode, I don't have a lot of room in my inventory. So in normal mode, you have 10,000 minus 1 in each of your inventory slots, which is, you know, basically endless.
Damage detected.
Not exactly, but you know what? It takes you a long time before you can actually acquire 10,000 things, or 9,999. I believe in survival mode, it's a little more than permadeath, but it's certainly not 10,000 minus 1. So okay, let's see, what do we got here? Anything? More buried technology. It's not on my path, so I'm gonna just slide right by that. Is this closer to my path? Yeah, it's just over there. Just gonna have a look. Tripping up over everything. Now I'm stuck inside that. That's funny. How'd you get stuck in there? I don't know. So you see I use my jetpack and it kind of tracked at the sentinels. Is this a cave? Not much of a cave, if it is. Just keep on going right over here. Let's grab this while we're at it.
Radiation protection. Falling.
I'll look at that in a second, see what that was. Looks like there was some sodium, among other things. So it appears, from my few playthroughs, that if there are more than one of those containers, like here there was 3 red containers, if there's more than one of the same kind of container, they will generally have more of the same item inside. So I think basically I just got a bunch of sodium out of that. Yeah, not sure. Alright, so I'm gonna just
Radiation protection.
rearrange some of this to better optimize my storage. Take those 2 stacks of oxygen from general inventory and
Radiation protection.
consolidate them into the one cargo. You have twice as much storage in your cargo, each cargo slot, than in your general inventory, so
Life support. Radiation damage detected.
oh, Okay, so that was rough. And my Geiger counter is going nuts.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Alright, let's move on. Whoa, almost fell down there.
Radiation protection.
Jump over that hole. Jump over these obstacles. Get to that knowledge stone right over there. Hello, strange looking creature. So, just wondering, subsequent to my first stream last week, I deployed several noise filters in my streaming software. I'm just wondering how that's going. Because my laptop fan is really kicked into high gear right at this point. Copper that I can't dig out. Terrain manipulator required. Right.
Radiation protection. Void.
So I mentioned a few minutes ago that the power jump using the melee button allows you to go a little further and faster, I guess. I think you have to push the melee button first, followed by the jump. Followed closely by the jump, but don't press them at the same time. From my experience anyway. If I press them at the same time, it's almost like the melee button doesn't engage or something. So 1, 2, and yeah, that looks like best case scenario. Just a slight delay between the two. Melee first. Where are those guys going?
Radiation protection.
Going southwest. Going my way? Nope. Yeah. Oh, see, they turned.
Radiation
Wow.
detected.
See what I was saying earlier about following ships in the sky? They could easily just
Recharge.
turn right or left at some point, and
Radiation protection.
which kind of makes it pointless to follow them, really. Right? Alright, take that and get out from underfoot here, because I don't want to aggravate the animals either. Because if you do something to aggravate the animals, they will also become hostile. So best not to do that, I guess. Now, from what I understand, this jump button too, if you're next to a vertical surface, you can use your jump button to just climb that surface right to the top. And I guess that can be useful in certain circumstances, but I don't think I've come across such a circumstance yet on this playthrough.
Radiation protection.
Stamina gun! At it again. So you see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to time my melee jump with my with the end of my stamina bar, so that I can best take advantage of that particular feature. Yeah. On a totally unrelated note, I'm wondering if they started arresting protesters yet. So, kind of going off on a tangent here. I kind of get what they're, what they're doing. Your rights, blah blah blah. Yes, perfectly understandable. We get it,
Radiation protection.
right? But you don't have to lay siege to the capital, national capital, in order to get your point across. Usually that's not how a protest works. And I suspect that the Prime Minister and the Premier,
Radiation damage detected.
they kind of got it right, guys. I mean, I feel for what you're doing, but you kind of worn out your welcome.
Radiation protection.
Okay, protest, but you don't go destroying people's livelihoods, to get your point across. Yes, okay, perhaps your livelihood was destroyed, but if you think bigger picture, you'll probably notice that was in the interest of the general population, not necessarily just yourself, right? So I guess the idea here is to think of others as well as yourself. Most people have coped with the situation in one way or another, and I guess bottom line is this whole thing, it's going to go away, right? Because
Technology recharge.
there, some medical professionals and politicians are saying, well, this is going to become endemic. Well, okay, it's endemic. Well, lots of things are endemic, right? Like the seasonal flu, that's endemic, right? That happens every year, without fail, right? And they don't really have that down either. I mean, there are a number of different strains of flu that affect people year in and year out, and the vaccine that they put out in any given year may or may not, be effective for the particular strain that's going to be, circulating throughout the general population. So, hey, wake up and smell the roses. We're trying to protect the most vulnerable in the population here with certain measures for distancing, for wearing masks, and vaccines and stuff. Well, okay, you don't want a vaccine? Well, fine. You know what? That's your business. But try not to make the rest of us suffer because of your attitude, right? To me, that's just being selfish. And I think I will end that rant right there because, well, I don't know if you can tell where I live. Exactly.
Radiation damage detected.
But, yeah.
Technology recharge.
Point is, let's try to behave more or less like one big happy family rather than fighting each other's backs every time, something doesn't go according to your plan, right? Roll with the punches. Okay, milestone. It's probably a distance traveled milestone. If I can find a cave or something, I have another look at all that stuff. See what I got left to scan in terms of plants and fly too high. So yeah, when you do fly too high and you land, you take some damage. You'll see the plus marks and the bar up at the top right, or top left of the screen. It tells you what kind of damage you can sustain. Alright, let's have one more scan around, see if there's a building over the rise there. Something like that I'm missing. Nothing to the east.
Radiation protection.
Nothing to the south. Not immediately, anyway. And nothing really interesting to the west. Wow. Oh, I haven't scanned this particular item. Well, let's do it. So, that's a mineral containing ferrite, dust, and uranium. So if I was to mine that, I would obtain those two materials. As you saw, the minerals give you about 200 units. Any upgrades to your multi-tool in terms of scanning will not increase
Radiation damage detected.
the number of units you receive
Recharge.
for
Technology recharge.
for scanning minerals. You can increase...
Radiation protection falling.
Okay, so there's a cave. I'm just gonna see if I can nonchalantly slip inside without too much aggravation. And there's some aggravation right there. Hazardous flora. And I'll take your sodium, thank you very much. Is there any more? Does not appear to be.
Radiation protection stabilizing.
Alright, stabilizing. Good. Now, I'm just going to mine some of these. Yeah, I'm not a geologist or a, particularly educated in geography, so I don't know if they're stalagmites or stalactites. They're one or the other. How about if I just call them growths in the cave? These growths, now, generally speaking, they contain cobalt. In this particular case, the ones here also contain copper, which is extremely useful. Now I'm going to tickle the trigger on the multi-tool so that it doesn't overheat. Now, how come I can't pick up all this stuff? That's a little odd. I'll try to get a few more that have copper in them. Like that one. And this one. So basically the cobalt I'm extracting here will be used to make ion batteries for my hazard protection system. Any extra I can sell basically for cash, units, and put that towards ship or whatever. Alright, let's do this quickly. Cobalt. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna make... I'm gonna go try to get back up to 20. I think that can work. 3, 2, 1. I'm done. Done. Alright. Dihydrogen. Let's make a few more of these too. Can I? Nope. You know why? Because it takes dihydrogen jelly. Oh yeah. Oh. It's these things. Okay, so I had what, 6? Right. Gotta make if I can make 6 more. Yep. Alright, and then I can make 6 of these. Back these up. Off we go. And we're back in business. Here's my compass. There it is. And I believe we were headed south. Alright, so we're just a little over an hour into this stream, and I've seen diddly squat in terms of buildings that will, or crashed ships that will allow me to further progress my mission here. So I'm going to probably going to call it and say if I do a trade post or an archive, I will definitely attempt to buy a ship. I don't have a whole lot of money to buy a ship, although what I'm probably going to do is end up selling the salvage data, and that will give me enough for sure. And do I have anything handy that I want to visit? What's that over there? Mutant plant. 1 star. You know what? No. Let's just go down the valley here and go up the other side. And see if I can spot anything from the other side there. Yep, so protesters, yeah. So if any of you are have one eye on the news, all that business has been on the news like nationally for weeks. They're probably going to say something about it if there's a interesting developments. Just anything yet? Damage machinery. That looks like that's very close. I think I'm just gonna make a very slight little detour and help myself with that. See if I can use my melee jump effectively here. I really don't jump very far. I hope you have a movement module that will increase the efficacy of my more buried technology that I can't access. That will increase the efficacy of my my jetpack. Let's see what you got here. Discard that because I really don't want to go through that process of multi-refining process. My inventory's not full, is it? Did it give me anything? Huh. Look at that. Normally, did I escape out of that before I had a chance to pick it up? My goodness, that didn't give me anything by the looks of it. And this technology module is not sticking out of the ground. So I cannot get it. Well, alright, that's it. That's all we can do. Move it along. Keep heading south, I guess. Tell you a story about a man named Marty.
Radiation protection falling.
Maybe at some point during one of my streams I can start a short discussion on some of the other rabbit holes I've gone down over the last couple of years. Gaming is certainly one of them. Like I said, it's one of the few things that have allowed me to basically keep my sanity.
Radiation protection.
Strange as that sounds. And life support.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
I'm going to go to the left of this very large rock.
Protection falling.
Now that was good use of my melee jump. However, it really doesn't last very long. But I wonder how much time that'll take off generally in my travels here. That was a long one. Come on, come on. Get up over the hill. Yeah, it's a good thing some of these animals aren't hostile. Alright. I'm almost high enough on the hill here to do a scan.
Radiation protection.
A scan for buildings. That's good enough right here. So going from east to west in a 180-degree arc mostly. More damaged machinery over there and there. No buildings. At least I didn't see any.
Radiation protection falling.
Maybe. Huh. Did a scan. Realizing it. Yeah. I think if I use that, try to use my melee jump as efficiently as possible, it might allow me to get from point A to point B a little quicker. Let's see.
Radiation damage detected.
Okay, my goodness.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
Use oxygen. Now I wonder if I
Radiation protection falling.
will draw the ire of the sentinels. Looks like I didn't. Strangely. Yeah. Nope, that one didn't work. Oh, wrong button, that's why. Melee is the bumper, not the trigger. Oh. Yeah, some gamer you are, buddy. No, not really. I think in order to qualify as a gamer, you need to have gone through some competitions and stuff, don't you? At least that's generally the impression I get. You know, because there are gamer competitions, right? Whereby, you know, you play a game and last man standing is the winner kind of thing. Apparently there's big prizes for those things.
Radiation protection.
And I'm talking about like 7 figures. It's very popular. Now, again, having said that, it's like the world champion, right? There's only one. I guess there's probably several, but you know what? For various games, right? I wouldn't I wouldn't exactly recommend you know, choosing that path
Radiation protection.
as a potential career path. Sounds like the odds are really not in your favor. I'll stick with just playing for fun and, you know, as a hobby kind of thing. It's fun. I mean, and besides, the last 2 years, like I said, yeah, it's been
Radiation protection.
I'm sure it's been a challenge for everybody to maintain sanity, you know. amongst all the competing narratives and
Radiation damage
all that
detected.
stuff.
Technology recharge.
Gonna need to do another scan here. See if there's anything in the valley up ahead.
Falling.
I don't see any ships circling around, so probably not a trading post. Matter of fact, I don't see any ships at all. Wow. see meteorites though. Hope I don't get slammed by one of those. That could be the end. Although I've yet to see that happen. And just as I was saying, no. No. You know how it goes, right? You open your mouth and then boom.
Life support power.
Struck down. There's a ship. Where'd it go? I heard it. I know I did. Yeah, and there's a sentinel. Move along, sir.
Radiation protection. Falling.
Yeah, that kind of melee jump will definitely advance my cause here. Help me to get where I'm going much quicker. Think. But again, I have to be mindful.
Power cells depleted.
I'm not sure if you land on the animals. I'm not sure if they
Technology recharge.
go aggro on you or not. But just assume. I think I've seen that, but I'm not sure. And I just assume that. Test that theory. You know. Let my jetpack recharge a little bit. Buy a little bit more
Radiation protection.
melee jump. Yeah, so at this point, my jetpack and my stamina are not really developed enough for me to do an extensive melee jump or any kind of jump.
Damage detected.
So I guess I just have to try and make the best of what I got.
Technology recharge.
Almost got run over. Now, I'm just gonna keep one eye. I was gonna say I'm gonna keep one eye on those ships, but they seem to hug the terrain to some extent, mostly. So if they go over a rise, they'll kind of disappear. Well, these guys turned left again. Look at that. Wow. Wonder if there's something to that. But you know what? I'd best just keep going. Keep going in the same general direction that I've been heading. And up comes the sun. There's the sun. I don't see it. Yeah, it's over there somewhere. I think it's behind me. Pretty sure there's shadows here. Yeah, look at that. It's over there somewhere. I don't see it, but it's over there somewhere. I think you may be able to, if your hardware is not, you know, up to snuff, you may be able to turn some of those features off in the game, the shading and stuff, because obviously that stuff takes up resources, like hardware resources, actual hardware resources. If you use a, if your computer has a discrete graphics engine, graphics processing unit, a GPU, depending on which one you have, you can use settings that are Well, I hesitate to say spectacular. I mean, it's just a video game, but if your hardware is not if your hardware is not quite that good, then you have to kind of miss out on some of the finer elements of the game. So I've mentioned that I'm playing on a laptop here. This laptop is a little over 2 years old. The technology, I believe, is older than that. Probably like 2.5 years old now. It's an NVIDIA GTX 2060. Not GTX, RTX. Sorry, my bad. And the processor CPU is an Intel i7-10750, which again is a couple of generations old. If I'm not mistaken, they're into the 12 Intel Core i12 at this point. From what I understand, okay, so I've always been in IT, so I've always kind of kept one eye on industry trends and stuff, and always like to watch some of the hardware reviews and things like that. Basically, because that was my line of work. So from what I've seen in the last couple of years, the two main competitors in the CPU playing field, Intel and AMD, they tend to go back and forth in terms of who's better. For the last several years, it appears to have been AMD with their Ryzen series chipsets. They're at the 5000 series now, I believe. I'm not sure if there's a launch of a new series expected soon, but for a while there, it looked like they were launching things every 6 or 9 months. First it was the 2000 series, then the 3000, and a couple of years ago when I built a computer for each of my daughters, I used the Ryzen 5 3600 and 3600X series paired with the NVIDIA RTX 2060 discrete graphics engine. Seems to have worked out pretty good for them. I mean, obviously not top of the line. I believe at that stage, top of the line was the 2080i. So that was kind of slightly out of my price range. Alright, let's be honest, it was way out of my price range. What I was willing to sort of invest. So, okay, I don't have the Atlas Pass, so I have to forego those round drums. But I will see what is in this green bin. Oxygen. 6 oxygen. Oh, you're too generous. I lost my my bearings. Okay. There's south. Let's go that way. When I get to the top of the hill here, I'll do another scan for buildings. So we're, let's see, we're almost an hour and a half into the stream. I'm really hoping to find a building with more than one platform, such that I can, like I said earlier, such that I can buy a ship and progress the storyline. Yeah, so like I was saying, the level of detail that you're going to get, like in a game like this, is going to be subject to the performance of your hardware, which includes your CPU and your GPU. So central processing unit, whether it be Intel or AMD, or the, or should I say, and the GPU, the graphics processing unit, which generally speaking in the past have been two main manufacturers, AMD, which I think they generally manufacture the Radeon series of GPUs, and NVIDIA, which have in the past produced GTX, RTX series of graphics engines. Okay, so here we're going to learn another word in the Korvax language. The word is two. So if we engage a Korvax unit in conversation and he says the word two, well, we'll see it on the screen. All right, so this is another pet mayonnaise? No, that's in the other shelter. So this is another holographic comms tower. Hopefully we'll be able to get far enough into the storyline to explore the functionality of that. Now I'm debating whether I should call this here or not. We're only at an hour and a half in, so you know what? I'm going to keep going south. I will trigger the save beacon here. Again, I'm in permadeath mode, so if something does happen and the character dies here, this save will be for naught. Basically because the save gets deleted if you die in permadeath mode. So here we go. 1201. All right, 1201. Let's keep going down this way, which is south. And over the hill. I'm guessing if I had scanned before I'd seen that building, probably would have shown me something. Unknown building or something. I think it might depend on how close you are to the actual building. Yes, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. Suck to die because you didn't regenerate your life support or hazard protection, or had the wherewithal, had your wits about you long enough to build these batteries and support gel packs. I think I got enough for a little while anyway. So let's just keep going south here, more or less. I'm gonna try to avoid all these big rocks here. Also, we're trying to step on the toes of these animals. This is a good place to do a scan. I see a building off in the distance there, right straight in front of me. I think it's an ancient ruin. I'm just going to do a scan, again, a 180-degree scan, see if there's anything else in the vicinity. And I'll look at that last, because I actually see it with my eyes. So now, see, there's something I might like to have visited. Curious deposit. Sometimes those are packed full of. See, I don't even pick it up with my scanner. Wow. Okay. Well, it's south in. It's almost south, so I'm gonna visit that. I'm gonna visit that building. I'm not sure if I can get out of the elements by going in or under it, but we'll see. We'll see. Those generally have like knowledge stones around them, and sometimes they have other things that are of some value. However, what I've found is that if you you try to pick up some of those artifacts, the Sentinels get really angry. So I might have to just forego those. And I'm obviously on a planet where the Sentinels are, yeah, it says frequent there, so yeah, that's just kind of bad news. It's just another one of those hazards, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? So just gonna try to deal with it best I can, and keep moving, trying to find another ship. It's been a bit of a chore up to now. I'm trying to remember if it was this playthrough that I saw the trading post like within the first like half an hour or so of my playthrough. I think it was. And basically I could have stuck around there, mined enough cobalt to make a bit of money to buy a ship, but you know what? I kind of pulled the trigger on the let's just explore for a while thing. So yeah, this does appear to be some kind of ancient ruin or something like that. Again, part of the lore of the game. Four dihydrogen. Wow. So there's what looks like a knowledge stone on top. And I don't think you draw the attention of the Sentinels if you don't try to pick up like some of the more exotic artifacts. Like the knowledge stones, I'm pretty sure you don't attract their attention. And I don't think you attract their attention if you engage this marker. Let's just have a look. Knowledge paves the way to the understanding of probability. Atlas spoke in fragments. The Atlas interfaces are their shadows, the monoliths, and their scattered children. Like I was saying, from the monolith you can find the location of a portal, but I believe you need some kind of artifact belonging to the life form that is dominant on the planet. Together they convey the wisdom of the infinite. They must be understood. For now, I'm just going to seek help with the language. I believe if you seek knowledge of the past, it'll lead you to another building, quite likely off planet. So I'm going to not bother with that, and I'm going to learn the word "ew," whatever that is. I believe that's an exclamation. Now you see, okay, so my hazard protection is regenerating. I am under some kind of roof here, so I guess this qualifies as a shelter, and my hazard protection just regenerated. What I'm going to do is use some of the oxygen that I have in my inventory to regenerate my life support. I get enough stuff to make additional ion batteries, and yeah, and life support gel. So I'm good for that for now. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to keep going south and attempt to find either a trading post or an archive. Failing that, I will likely call this stream at the next save point that I get to, whatever that save point might be. We're an hour and 40 minutes in. This is pretty much the duration of the previous stream. So you notice that there was no save point back at that building I just left. So, couldn't really do it there. I've got sentinels investigating again, or at least poking around, so I'm going to try to get away from that. Do another scan, see if there's buildings nearby. Nothing yet. There's one. Looks like it might be on the other side of this giant rock. Hopefully it's not inside of it. No, it doesn't appear to be. Well, I'll just make my way around this this building here. Usually when you identify a building, there's a save point with that building, so we'll probably do that. Just save and call it a stream. And do further Saturday morning cartooning next week. I don't see it yet. Where is it?
Radiation protection.
Looks like it's inside. No! I don't have the terrain manipulation to dig my way in it either. Let's see. Oh, maybe not inside. Maybe it's just... Well, that's kind of inside, isn't it? Oh, it's a pod.
Radiation protection.
Oh, yeah. I did not get the necessary resources. Oh, that's poison.
Radiation damage detected.
That's just poison to me. Did I not run into one of these before and
Technology
not have the
Technology
appropriate resources to dig that out? Oh no.
Radiation protection. Falling.
Yeah, that's just a major kind of rot job. So I'll just go over to the pod and show you what I mean when I say rot job before I engage the save beacon. I'll just go over here and so in order to increase your inventory space, this is one of the ways. These drop pods are located randomly on planets. When you activate it, you need certain materials to basically obtain the inventory unit. So it's 1 antimatter housing, 10 sodium nitrate. Sodium nitrate I can make, and carbon nanotubes I can make, but I do not have the recipe for the antimatter housing, as far as I know. Let me double check that, but I'm almost sure I don't. Yeah, I only have 2 rows of products, and that's not one of them. And I have not had the fortune of coming across a vendor that I could buy one from. So those vendors will be located at planetary archives or at minor settlements. And unfortunately, like I said, I haven't come across either of those particular buildings yet. So we'll call it here, and thanks for watching. Appreciate your time immensely. Hope you had fun. Hope it wasn't too boring for you. And cheers and thanks again, and we'll see you next Saturday morning, 10:30ish. I can manage to end this without destroying my hardware.